News.mc on Monaco Info is brought to you by Monaco Legend Properties. Bringing you news on Monaco's economy, culture, sports and more. Welcome to News.mc, your English rendezvous on Monaco Info. Coming up on News.mc, discover past week's top stories and meet the people who make Monaco.
My name is Riccardo Giraldi. I'm the CEO of Giraldi Group, and you are watching News.mc on Monaco Info.
What's been making headline in the past week? Monaco Omnisports celebrated its 101st AS Awards in style on Wednesday the 12th of November, with athletes, coaches and volunteers honoured at the Auditorium Rainier III. The ceremony recognised commitment and performance across the Principality's 24 AS Monaco sections, with awards including Medals of Honour and Recognition. This year, Male and Female Athlete of the Year categories were replaced by a broader celebration of achievement. Highlights included the modern pentathlon team, crowned French champions and ranked 20th in the world. From dancers to young athletes, the evening showcased Monaco's vibrant sporting community just a week ahead of National Day. Her Serene Highness Princess Charlene visited the Joya Jewellery Fair at One Monte-Carlo on Thursday, November the 13th. Curated by Vanessa Margowski and Delphine Pastor-Rice, the exhibition blended art, heritage and innovation, offering a journey through ancient treasures, vintage gems and contemporary designs. Held under the high patronage of His Serene Highness Prince Albert II, Joya showcased the evolving creativity of jewelers from around the world. Princess Charlene's presence highlighted Monaco's commitment to culture and craftsmanship, and Joya continues to grow as a key event in the Principality's autumn cultural calendar. On the morning of Friday, the 14th of November, Their Serene Highnesses Prince Albert II and Princess Charlene continued a cherished tradition by personally distributing Monaco Red Cross gift parcels to senior citizens in need. Held at Red Cross headquarters, the event welcomed 115 beneficiaries who each received a festive gourmet package and a warm greeting from the princely couple. Camille Gottlieb, head of the youth section, joined volunteers and board members to support the heartfelt initiative. The gesture, timed to coincide with the National Day period, reflects Monaco's enduring commitment to its most vulnerable residents. With a focus on personal connection and community care, the occasion remains a symbol of solidarity and kindness in the Principality. On November the 14th, World Diabetes Day, the Monaco Red Cross hosted a public screening event in Fontvieille to raise awareness of this growing global health issue. Diabetes affects over 11% of adults worldwide, yet many remain undiagnosed. 2 tents were set up for free, walk-in testing using a simple, painless finger prick to measure blood sugar. In Monaco last year, 280 people were screened and 3% showed high levels requiring further follow-up. The initiative highlights the importance of early detection and healthier lifestyle habits to prevent serious complications. The 26th edition of Monaco's No Finish Line officially began on Saturday, November the 15th, under the Fontvieille Big Top. Her Serene Highness Princess Charlene launched the event, which already boasts 12,000 pre-registered participants supporting Children and Future, the local charity behind the race. The concept is simple. For every kilometre completed, €1 is donated to projects helping disadvantaged and seriously ill children. Participants can run or walk at any time, day or night, over the 8-day event. Major sponsors like Barclays, the Monegasque Red Cross Foundation, Stelios Foundation and SBM Offshore have joined forces with dozens of local partners to support the effort. Familiar faces from across the Principality, including the Minister of State and Mayor, were present on day one, alongside the Carabinieri Corps, who are running in team colours despite National Day preparations. The annual Physical Education and Sports Medal ceremony took place at the Louis II Stadium on November the 17th. Their Serene Highnesses Prince Albert II and Princess Charlene were on hand to honour athletes, coaches, volunteers and sports leaders for their dedication and achievements. The ceremony recognised 53 individuals across Monaco's sporting community, with recipients expressing gratitude for the recognition and pride in representing the Principality and being recognised by the princely couple, both of whom are deeply committed to promoting sport and its values in Monaco. It marked the end of an exceptional year for Monegasque sport and a motivating moment ahead of an exciting 2026. The presentation of National Day medals took place across several ceremonies beginning on Monday 17th November in the afternoon, with His Serene Highness Prince Albert II awarding decorations in the Order of St. Charles to leading figures in Monegasque life, including Roger Rossi, honoured as Grand Officer. The Order of Grimaldi followed, recognising service to the Principality in 3 ranks. On Tuesday the 18th of November, Her Royal Highness the Princess of Hanover awarded the Order of Cultural Merit, with Princess Stephanie named Commander. The princely couple also paid tribute to volunteers, blood donors and the Red Cross. Minister of State Christophe Meerman later honoured public security and emergency service personnel at the Grimaldi Forum. Monaco's 2025 National Day on November the 19th was marked by tradition, unity and deep affection for the princely family. The day began at 9:30 a.m. with the annual Te Deum Mass at Monaco Cathedral, a moment of solemnity and spiritual reflection attended by His Serene Highness Prince Albert II, Princess Charlene and members of the royal family. Her Serene Highness Princess Charlene's appearance in a crisp white suit drew particular attention as she arrived alongside the Princess of Hanover and Princess Stephanie. Celebrated by Archbishop Dominique Marie David, the Mass underscored the enduring value of tradition and Monaco's unique position as a modern yet principled nation. The prayer for the sovereign, sung every Sunday in the cathedral, concluded the ceremony on an emotional note. From there, all eyes turned to the Palace Square, where crowds gathered to watch the courtyard ceremony on giant screens. Inside the Cour d'Honneur, the entire princely family was present, including hereditary Prince Jacques, dressed in the uniform of the Carabinieri, and Princess Gabriella in bright red. Prince Albert II awarded insignia to 31 promoted members of the public force, as well as medals of honour to palace staff. This year's honoured international contingent was the Italian Carabinieri Brass Band from Lombardy, whose musical tribute delighted many of Monaco's Italian residents. The national colours were celebrated with stirring performances and parades from the Carabinieri, firefighters and public security forces. One of the highlights came from the Prince's Carabinieri Orchestra, which performed a medley that nodded to the 20-year reign of Prince Albert. As ever, the day ended with the Monegasque people gathered at the palace gates, united, emotional, and proudly reaffirming their deep attachment to the sovereign and his family. Monaco ended its 2-game losing streak in style, thrashing Asvel 84-52 in the rivalry series clash at LDLC Arena. The 32-point margin marked Monaco's biggest ever EuroLeague win, beating their previous record of 30 points set against Fenerbahce. Mike James and Nikola Mirotic led the scoring with 12 points each, while Eli Okobo added 11. Jaron Blossomgame contributed 8 points and 10 rebounds. Asvel, now 3-9, had no players in double figures. Next up, our exclusive interview with the personalities making the Principality.
My name is Riccardo Giraldi. I'm the CEO of Giraldi Group. So the first part of my life was actually very local. I was born in Italy, but my parents were already residents in Monaco. I actually really grew up here. So I went to the French school until I was 12 years old and 13, and then I really didn't like it. It was really not for me. The mentality was wrong. I didn't like it. It was very rigid, very strict. And my mother, being British, she convinced the family that I should try the first ever American school. I don't know if you remember, but in the stadium, there was the first American school. So I went there and I did the last year. It was 5th grade, and that's really how I really got to speak English and get more of an international education. I did not project anything. I did not know what I wanted to do, because growing up from a very strong Italian family, I always thought that I had to take over my dad's position. And he was a beef trader. And so I never considered anything else. I was brought up with the idea to come into the family business. It was a very small family business at the time. The industry at the time was totally different than what it is today. The beef industry was very much commodity driven. Commodity just means price versus yield of carcass and muscle and fat. You could sell petrol, beef, veal, pork. It was commodity. But then I said we should add value. We should add value to this business, and it was a good moment. It was a good time, and so I started looking around. And isn't there anything to do in the beef industry that's a bit more creative, a bit more glamorous, a bit more me, and still keeping the dad happy? Because I had to keep also, a very political situation. So that's how it all started. I started by creating added value and by convincing American packers and then Australian packers and then now Namibian packers to actually give us the product and that we would try to create a market for it within Europe. And that's exactly what happened. So the first thing to do was to convince the distributors to buy the beef from us, but nobody would buy it. So we would have stock of beef, and I was going nuts. Why wouldn't they buy it? It's the best beef in the world. So what happened was I had to make my own restaurants to be able to showcase the beef so that I would convince distributors to buy the beef because they would eat it. And that's why Beef Bar was born. It was born from a need of my beef company to find a solution for my beef problem. But nobody knows this. The idea was to really do the maximum within the principality. And that was until 2010. And then, because of the success, people started coming to us and saying, why don't you think of expanding elsewhere? I was very scared to expand elsewhere because, Monaco is my home. I know those people. I know how the mentality. I know it's not an easy place, Monaco, but it's a lot easier for somebody like me who's born here, who's lived here, to understand the market. But it's as hard for me to understand another market, let alone a big capital. I was very, very scared. Little by little, I changed the concept even more and more and more, leaving the steaks, the big steaks, and this American style cowboy ideas, all of that. It really wasn't what me, and I wanted to turn it much more into a feminine, more shareable, more delicate, more kind of Asian concept, and that really took off. And it's really, really, really took off. And then how it is you struggle, and then with time you grow. I think the big leap, the big differences were made when we opened Paris in Le Carré d'Or. It's Avenue Montaigne with Rue du Bocador, all that area. I have a restaurant called Beef Bar, which is a pretty tacky name, right? It's not such an elegant name at the time, but I didn't want to change it because it's a great name if you think about it, but maybe not in Avenue Montaigne at the time. And I started giving them tacos and kebabs. It was a big risk. What I like about that brand is that it's made of luxurious contrasts. So we have this beautiful setting with this amazing quality, but then you contrast it with a very simple street food recipe, which people really like because, new codes of luxury have changed. I keep saying this, but if you think that in 2005, Chanel would never have done a sneakers, this is the way the evolution of fashion is going and food is going. And I was scared, but at the same time I said, we need to risk it, we need to try it. If it works in Paris, in that area, then we might stand a chance to actually evolve all over the world. And it worked. There's a big cultural evolution where cuisines mix a lot more, which I think is very, very interesting as well. I'm not talking about fusion. I'm talking about how cultures with time, with decades, with cuisines have actually enriched into other people's cultures. So I think that we're going to discover a lot more flavors that are going to come up. I think there's a return where restaurants will be restaurants. That was one of the biggest honors for me, is to know indirectly, because he would never tell me, that he was very proud of what we did. It wasn't easy because I'm totally different. I come from a different mindset, but then he's so proud, and my family is so proud of what we achieved all together. That gives me a sense of, pride.
That's all for today. Thank you for watching News.mc, your English rendezvous on Monaco Info. Discover the full interview and more stories on our websites, News.mc and MonacoInfo.com. Next week, we will receive Vincent Vallet, founder of the Wolves Club. This show is intended to provide a summary of the past week's top stories for the English-speaking audience. For daily and real-time news updates in English, please visit News.mc and subscribe to our free daily newsletter. For French news, visit MonacoInfo.com. This show was brought to you by Monaco Legend Properties.